We have 256 onions in our garden this year. Insanity. Welcome back to the Cozy Stead, friends. My name is Kristen, if you're new here. If you're not, then thank you so much for joining back in today. There's a couple of things I want to do together with you today. We are going to start with a little garden update because a few things have changed since we came back from vacation. We can actually start right here at the entrance of the garden. I planted out some things in my herb spiral here. This is wild garlic. It has bulbs. I have purchased it in, I think, February or something from the garden center. And I had hoped that it would form bulbs so I could then plant it out in my native patch that I have here. And it did. So I put it in my herb spiral, and I also took some seeds yesterday and just sprinkled them everywhere around here in my landscaping area. And I hope that will pop up next year. I know usually you do it in the fall, but I just thought those seeds are so old, so just get them in the ground. Then I also had planted Welsh onions in here. These are perennial green onions. So perennial means that they grow for multiple years. So I will now have spring onions or green onions, whatever you want to call them, every year growing in the spot, which I'm very happy about. Then my oregano is also finally kind of popping back up. Put some lemon verbena here just in hopes that it will grow big and bushy, and it will help keep the mosquitoes in check because they do not seem to like that. And that's everything I have in the spiral right now. I also transplanted my lavender from there. It was growing into the walkway to here next to the herb spiral. I didn't want to get rid of it because I like how it looks, but I think this is a good spot for it. So then can go into the garden. Look how gorgeous my tulips are looking, by the way. They're just about to open. So we are in the garden area. Let me just, before we continue with the update, I need to open the greenhouse because it's probably gonna be really hot in there, and I know for a fact that the cabbages don't like that, or all the brassicas that I have. We will come to this in a sec because there are a couple of things in here that I want to show you. But let's continue with the actual garden update. We are building a fireplace here. This is basically where my veggie garden is. And then we are gonna separate it with terracing strawberry planters. But this fireplace is far from being started as a real project. We just put some of these bricks down so we would know where it goes for general garden planning. Then we finally put my grapes in the ground. These are, I think, Boskop Glory. Yes, they are. They're this dark grape. I've had them for 2 years now. In the first year, they bared fruit. In the second year, so last year, they bared absolutely nothing and they were growing really horribly. I had them in containers because we didn't have a final spot for them. But now they are in their final spot. We are gonna build them a nice trellising system where they can grow on. But what I wanted to say was that the other day, before we planted these out, I checked the grapes just in the bottom, and I saw that there were a bunch of ants in the bottom of the container. And I pulled it out a little, and just one of them, the smaller one here, it came loose really quickly. And I think it's because there was a huge ant's nest in that container. If you're new here, ants are one of my biggest enemies in this garden. They are just everywhere. I usually wouldn't have anything against them, but they are invasive here. They are just everywhere. I cannot seem to find a treaty with them where we can just coexist. Everywhere where we put in garden beds, they just come and invade it. They're in my greenhouse now, so I am dealing with them, but I'm trying to deal with them organically. That may not always work the best, but I'm still trying because I don't want to get rid of them. This is their home too, but you can just let them go up to a point. If you have any tips on ants, I've tried mint, I've tried coffee, I've tried a whole bunch of things that are supposed to work that did absolutely nothing for me. The only thing which is not organic that I tried 2 years ago was setting out these ant traps that will lure them in, and it will keep them in and it can take out a whole colony basically. I know it's not nice, but I'm just desperate with these ants. I don't know, I can't even describe it. There are just too many. Enough about the ants. Continuing with this right here. So we are putting in 2 new in-ground beds. We dug the soil up. Crystal did most of the digging. I dug half of this up. This is the one I put in, I think, last year by myself. You can see, I think, that this was done by me. But, you know, it works. So that's all I want from it. But the reason why we're putting in 2 more in-ground beds is because I want to have more space for things like pumpkins and just in general have more garden space. I love my 4 raised beds here. They are always fully planted out. Like I'm always like just trying to cram plants in there, and I just need some more space, and we are getting that with these in-ground beds here. I think they are 1.5 to 3 meters long, I'm not sure, and I think 1.5 meters wide, so they are pretty big, but I am gonna need that space. Then continuing with that, all my strawberry plants died last winter, I should say, because we had a really harsh winter and I didn't take him inside. That was completely my fault, to be granted, but my mother-in-law was so nice because she has beautiful strawberries and she has so many plants. She has them in ground. So she gifted me some of her baby strawberry plants, and I just took these trays because I do not have any more space where to put them right now. Just took these trays that are like these container trays like this, and I just put some compost soil in there and planted them out yesterday. And once we are finished with the in-ground beds, we are going to start with like the fireplace area here. We are going to do the grape trellising system, and then these terracing, like they will start probably up here somewhere and then go a little bit like that and go down like this. So they're kind of like stairs, these planters, and this is where I'm gonna keep my strawberries in. And then I will definitely cover them next winter. Okay, but enough from that side of the garden. This is a work in progress. I wanted to show you how things are looking in the greenhouse, and that is absolutely stunning. You know, I did this experiment when I planted out my pumpkins, and I left one of the containers here, and it actually germinated, I want to say 1.5 to 2 weeks ago, and now it's forming its first new leaf. Definitely it had a little bit slower germination, but the plant is looking great, honestly. And I'm now thinking that if this is gonna be okay, then I will grow my pumpkins in my greenhouse, like sow them out in my greenhouse every year from now on, because there are a lot to handle inside. So this Japanese mustard we have harvested from a couple of times now for salad. It's amazing. I just transplanted, or not transplanted, but put it up my cucumbers yesterday. 2 of them, the rootstock broke a little. I think it was this one and this one, because you can see they're kind of like looking a little wilty, but the other ones are looking great. These are my cucamelons, and I will keep them maybe in my greenhouse from now, because inside there are also a lot to handle. So I'm just hoping that they will be okay, that the moisture won't like get to them. I think I will leave starting Wednesday 1 window open at night as well, because Wednesday it's supposed to go down to 1 degree at night. I don't know. The cucumbers don't like cold. They're very like frost sensitive. Our last average frost date is May 15th, so 2 weeks. So yeah, I'm waiting on that. This is why I'm like waiting with the window at night. And then I'm also doing a little experiment. I took out my peppers 2 days ago, at least 2 of the plants, because I just wanted to do a little test. This is the banana pepper, or one of the banana peppers. It's looking really good right now. And this is the sweet chocolate bell pepper. You can see they're having some flowers on there already. Things in this greenhouse are looking incredible. But what we are gonna do today is we are gonna plant out my onions. Last time when we were in the garden together, I had planted out 120 onions, and today I'm gonna plant more. I know it seems like a lot of onions, maybe some would say too much, but we do eat onions almost every day, so we do need that amount. And these that I started from seed, they are looking fantastic. This is the variety, I think it's called the Kelsey. It's a huge like salad onion. It gets like this big, and one just like plopped out. We are gonna plant that definitely, no worries. But I have more in my greenhouse. And honestly, all of these onions are looking fantastic. They are, I don't know, they're doing really good. I have some more here. These are not quite as big because I started these later than the ones I just took out. Let me see actually when I started these. These I started on 21st of January and these I started on the 5th of March. So 1.5 months difference. You can definitely see it with the like growth, but still honestly these are looking great for the fact that I started them way later than these. And we still have some more in the greenhouse. We have these here. These are, well, half of them is the Kelsey, so the same ones like these. And then the other ones are Red Baron, which is a red onion variety. And I have even more. These 3 ones here are Granada, which are also a red onion variety. These are all gonna go, well, I don't know if actually all of them can fit in here, but these are gonna go in this bed and then we will interplant them, or at least plant carrots next to them. And I will see, maybe I will chuck a couple of these onions in some other beds, not this one, this is a potato bed. I might chuck them, I don't know, like at the edge here somewhere, and maybe some over there. I think that will be fine, probably. But I'm gonna plant these onions first, and then we can choose our carrot seeds. I don't think I will be able to plant the carrots in one of the in-ground beds because carrots like very fluffy soil, and I think that is one of the reasons why I have gotten so crazy nice carrots last year, because my soil is very fluffy. But we'll see what happens. We'll just start planting them and then we will see. I got a little bit of parsley root in this bed. It's left from last year, but I don't know if this is actually gonna do anything. It has been bone dry this whole spring. So I will just quickly water this bed in just a little bit before I start planting out. I actually watered it yesterday evening, but it has dried out again. We get a lot of wind in the area where we live, but unfortunately this spring it has not rained a lot, so everything is just very dry and you need to water like constantly, which makes me kind of worried for the carrot seeds because carrots need to be moist to be able to germinate. I don't have any straw for mulch. It's actually supposed to rain today, at least for around 3 to 4 hours in the afternoon. This is why this is the perfect time right now to sow out these carrots. Just getting some more water. And I had topped this bed up with 2 bags of fresh compost, I think a couple of days ago. And I had watered this in really well, just to really like prep it for planting out my onions and sowing out my carrots. I think it would be good if we would get a trowel or something just to I don't know what this tool is called, but I always use it to make like holes for plants. It's really good. Here is one of my trowels. I don't know where the other one is. I have lost it again as usual. Oh, and I totally forgot to show you what we did in front of the greenhouse. So I had these stones here, these stone plates in the greenhouse as a like walkway. They were only in the middle, and they have this like clay balls everywhere scattered around. And they were just like sitting on top of the clay balls, and there were so many times where I almost like fell or twisted my ankle almost, because there was this like gap between the edge of the walkway and then the clay balls. So we just decided, or Cristo decided, to put them in front of my greenhouse, and now they're like level with the ground, and it's really easy because we were kind of like struggling with not flooding but like pooling of water here, and I think this will help. It's really nice to have this here, and we even thought to make this whole area here, at least in front of the greenhouse, with these walkway stones. Okay, but we'll start with the onion, the Kelsey. See, this is what I mean. This is crazy. I just watered this bed, and I watered it in really well a couple of days ago, yesterday evening. Once you start digging, do you see? It's like somewhat moist, but you can see the difference in the color of the soil. It is moist when I stick my finger in here, and once you go deeper, it is also getting more moist again. It's just like layered. We need to definitely water more here. I really wish it will rain a lot, because we are not connected to central water with our garden as well. It has no irrigation. I water everything by hand. We do store a backup of rainwater over here, and then we share this huge tank here over there with one of our neighbor. But we're actually getting one more of those huge tanks just to have backup water, because in the past, like last year, for example, we put in a lot more garden beds, and at some point it didn't rain for a very long time, and I felt really uneasy. Like, I was getting stressed because we were running out of water so quickly. I had to water every day because it was so dry as well. So a little backup water definitely won't hurt. Wow, I am just speechless by these onions. Try to get them out first, like that. Wow! Do you see that? That's insane. Really nice roots. Oh, and they smell fantastic, the roots. Okay, just try to like gently break it apart. I have never, probably shouldn't say this, gonna knock on wood, have never got my onions to look this good. I think it's because I started these so early. So now I know to start my onions in January. Some of these are really close together. Just trying to be as gentle as possible, but these are real tangled up. Probably waited a little bit too long. But I really didn't want to plant them before vacation. Okay, we finally got these all freed up. I will lay them out, just like I did with my potatoes. Not sure about the spacing of these. Gonna try to give them plenty of space. I think that looks good to me, honestly. Okay, they're looking good. I will take these other ones. These are both the Kelsey as well, so I will just plant them out right next to those so they will all be together. Okay, we got them all laid out. I will continue laying the onions out before I actually put them in the soil, just to see how many I can actually fit in here. I will go with I think these are the Red Baron next. So I laid most of my onions out. These are Granada here. This is what I just laid out right here. As you can see, I'm kind of running out of space here. So what I will do is I will plant out these Red Magic onions here in this bed, because, well, they are looking fantastic. They're huge. They need to go out. But these here, the Granada ones, they can stay in their pot a little bit longer, and I think I will interplant them in one of my in-ground beds with the crops that I'm gonna have there. I have to count all of these onions later because I want to know how much onions I planted. I wish I knew how much onions I planted last year. If I had to guess, it was probably around like 50 or something that we got, and we ran out of them in November, so I know for a fact that those were not enough. I think the time is working against me, or I'm working against the time rather. So I need to be kind of quick with getting these onions done so we can sow out the carrots and get this done before it starts raining. Because I'm here, I'm also gonna water my potatoes just a little bit right now because the soil is drying up so quick. I need to, you know what I need to do? I need to get pine bark mulch from the hardware store, so then we can mulch all the beds and they won't dry up so quickly. Okay, let's get these in the ground, finally. Okay, friends, I just came from inside because I took a little break and I needed to charge the battery of my camera. But we just planted 156 onions. Together with the onions that I had already planted from sets, that is 200, wait, we didn't plant 156, we planted 136 onions. But together with the onions that I had planted, which were around 120, we have 256 onions in our garden this year. Insanity. I hope that this will feed us a year. Probably they won't like last us a whole year, but they might last us like 3/4 of a year or something. I will definitely try to put some up in the freezer so they are ready to go for me whenever I want to. Let me just show you how they look. So this is our onion bed. Now we're gonna sow out the carrots. This is gonna be the fun part. Then I plopped some more over here. Like the little, I planted only the real like big ones, nice ones in there. And then the weaker ones or smaller ones that I kind of like had left over, I put around here. I put some here in this bed next to my lettuce, and on this bed also, right here and over there. And before we sow out the carrots, let me actually show you, because the onions that we planted before we went on vacation are actually coming up, at least some of them. Do you see that? This is definitely an onion. Here's another one. Here's another one. It has been kind of warmish throughout the past days now, so they are starting to come up, which I'm very happy about. It's always a good sign when what you planted is actually growing, you know? But yeah, let's head into the greenhouse because I got my seeds stored in there and we can pick out the carrots. Well, I know that I am gonna plant Naomi and Charisma for sure, but maybe we try out another variety that I haven't tried out yet too. It feels like it's gonna start to rain soon. I said from 12 on, and now it's 11:38, so we have about half an hour. I can feel like the wind is picking up just a little bit and it's getting cooler, so we gotta get these carrot seeds in the ground right now. And I will start with Naomi, I think. I think last year I said that I wasn't gonna put my carrots with my onions again because my carrots outgrew my onions so quick. But I think it's because my onions were so much smaller when I put them in last year, and I grew a lot of them also from sets, and it took a long time to come up. I think because my onions are really nice and strong and big right now already, that it's gonna be fine if I interplant them like this. At least I hope. Otherwise, all this effort will be for nothing. So what I like to do is I like to put some of the seeds on my hand because I feel like I have more control over how many I'm sprinkling in here. And then I just honestly, generously sprinkle them. And I will for sure thin these out. Just sprinkle some here at the very edge too. Why not? And I don't try necessarily to stay in this trench here. If some of them go next to it, that's completely fine. In fact, that's even kind of what I want, because I want them a little bit scattered. It's starting to sprinkle, so I need to be quick. I'm going in with the yellow carrot. It's called Lobo. Next up, I will do, I think, charisma. I typically don't plant anything that has more than like 120 days or something, because what they don't tell you on the seed packet is, yes, it's 120 or 125 days till maturation, but if you want a large carrot, you gotta double this time. You gotta double the amount of the vegetation period for the carrot to actually like grow really large, at least in my experience. That's why I have gotten so big carrots last year, because I let them grow for double the amount that it said on the seed packet. And I think most of the carrots that I'm planting here, they have around 90 to 120 days of maturation. I think some of them are even around like 80 days. So that's always what you gotta look for. Okay, gotta be quick. I left this one row out because for some reason I have parsley root in here and it's still growing. So we'll give it a little space. Okay, I think it's now starting to proper rain, so I will just close these up. I've done my job sowing these. So you can see there are seeds scattered everywhere here. So what I will do is I just go over it like that, just brush over it, just so they are very lightly covered. And the most crucial part is to keep these moist now. For the next 2 or 3 weeks, I will have to water them probably every day if it's not gonna rain. So that is the most crucial part when you've sown out your carrots, to actually get them to germinate. Sowing depth and moisture. And I promised myself that I will do a better job at thinning these out this year. So I gotta hold myself up to that promise when they have germinated. And I really hope that it will be fine interplanting them with the onions like that. It is raining basically, but I will water these in. But before we do that, I'm gonna grab my bucket, fill it up with a little bit of chicken manure granules and sprinkle it on the top, because those chicken manure granules will provide a little bit of a barrier from the sun, so it doesn't dry out quite as much. I have chicken manure granules in this bed already, but they're kind of worked into the soil by now. So we're just gonna sprinkle a little bit more and they will dissolve with water. So no problem with that. Like slowly dissolve with the water. And this is made from chicken manure, where the chickens have not been treated with antibiotics. I just like to note that. Just throw it like that. See, they're very like fine granules. hauling this water back and forth is a real workout. It's nice. Okay, we got it all watered in. I used 1 more can of this, and then hopefully the rain will do the rest. It is slightly sprinkling right now, but I hope that some more rain will come. In this bed right here, we have Naomi, we have Lobo, this yellow carrot, and we have Charisma. Technically, I still have some carrot seeds left, but what we're gonna do now, because I really want to try these Malbec carrots and the Bolero ones, we are gonna sprinkle some carrot seeds here. You can see how much more moist this soil is. This one is covered with chicken manure and very fine, like pine bark mulch. You can see it's not dried out at all. So this is what we want. You know, I'm actually just gonna do a big row, I think. Something like this. They just look so pretty. I definitely want them in the garden. And it says here that they are perfect for roasting. I'm not gonna sprinkle them as dense as I did with the other ones because these seeds were super expensive. I think this whole pack was like 4 or 5 euros. And this Charisma seeds were like, I don't know, 90 cents or something, 70 cents. Very inexpensive anyway. I might not even need to thin these out because they are very sparsely planted here. Actually, they only lasted until about here. So I will plant the other side with Bolero. You know what? I didn't get to finish this seed pack of these Lobo carrots. I think I will just, because this is open anyway and there's not a bunch of seeds left. I will just sprinkle these next to my Malbec ones. I think it will be fine. They can grow together. It's starting to rain properly now, so thank God this is the last pack of carrots that we need to sow. These are the Bolero carrots. They look like this. They have large, red, juicy fruits. And I'll just sprinkle them like that next to the Malbec and the Lobo carrots. Okay, that was our last pack of carrots. I still have some seeds left, so we might come back after pulling the garlic and sow some more here. But for now, that's it. And one thing, usually I like to put on my tags how long the vegetation period is that it says on the seed packet, but none of my seed packets, weirdly enough, say it. So I'm gonna go now inside, look that up, and then come back later at some point, probably tomorrow, and put on my tags how many days of vegetation period these carrots have, just so I know from the day of sowing today how long it will probably like take them, just approximately. And my onions that I planted here. All right, just like that, we planted 136 onion and our carrots for the year. This was a very productive morning. I am so glad I got this project done today. Now it's out of my mind. The plants gotta do their job, Mother Nature has to do her job, and I can't wait to watch them grow and harvest these at some point in the far future. But honestly, I am just so happy that I got this project done today. Now I can focus on other things in the garden. Once those beds over there are finished, I can plant out my pumpkins for the year. And yeah, if you want more carrot growing tips, I have an actual video where I just talk about what I do to make my carrots grow as large as they do and as beautiful as they do. I'll try to pop it as an info card somewhere here or in the description box as a link. So you can go ahead and watch that. But friends, if you have made it this far, then thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate every single one of you. And it's always so fun to take you along with me while I do these things in the garden. I feel like my garden is kind of your garden in a way, because I share all these things with you. And I'm so happy to do that. But I'm ready to go inside now, make a warm meal for dinner, because it's kind of chilly today because of the wind. And I think I'm actually gonna do a Greek inspired dinner today, just because we were just in Rhodes in Greece on vacation, and I feel very inspired by the cuisine there. So of course I'm gonna take you along with me, but it's gonna be in my next video. So if you don't want to miss that, please consider subscribing. I would highly appreciate that. Just you being here helps me out so much. And if you want to support my channel, then you can do so just by liking this video and commenting on it. I would really appreciate that. Thanks again for being here. Never forget, you are worthy, you are loved. I hope you have the most amazing day, and I hope to see you back on my channel next time. Bye!